Welcome everyone. We're really excited about today's panel. It is actually a kickoff of a discussion series that will bring people together from all over the world to talk about what the inclusive and equitable transition to an all-electric future looks like across the globe. We will continue to have these conversations with people from all different regions, but today we're really honored to kick things off with GM employees from the Middle East and North Africa region. As you hopefully know, in 2021, we had announced our ambition to be the most inclusive company in the world. And that was really intended to reflect our approach to shaping our own workplace culture, as well as how we want to impact the world. As we look ahead to an all-electric future, we're focused on bringing our employees, communities, dealers, suppliers, and customers along with us. And that's why GM is prioritizing equitable climate action to help make the all-electric transition an inclusive one for our current and future workforce, customers, and communities that may be more likely to experience the effects of climate change disproportionately. So with us today, we've got 3 employees from the United Arab Emirates to talk about what the transition to an all-electric future looks like from their part of the globe, while highlighting the importance of EV access in the MENA region. So without further ado, would love to hand it off to really start learning about each of you. Yen, do you want to go first and introduce yourself?
Sure. Thank you, Lainey, for such a session. And my name is Yen. I'm the EV manager for the Middle East region, responsible for the strategy and the EV readiness rollout in the region. I'm originally Singaporean, but have been in the Middle East region for the past 13 years. And that kind of shows the diversity and inclusion of our organization here as well. And I'm a mother of 2. I'm also a scuba diver, so I see clearly the environmental effects under the water, which pushes me to be really sustainability focused, and I feel very happy and honored every day to be able to find a career that aligns with my passion in driving towards an all-electric future.
That's amazing. Thanks so much, Yen. Diana, do you want to go next?
Sure. My name is Diana Al-Shafi. I was born and raised in Kuwait. I'm originally Egyptian. So I went to university in Egypt and I started working there. And then I moved to the United Arab Emirates in 2005. I now am based in Abu Dhabi in the UAE. So I'm really passionate about communications in general. But this subject, not just with sustainability, but like you mentioned, inclusivity is a passion of mine. So I'm really happy to be a part of this panel and talk more about how we are here in the Middle East, also driving the same sustainability goals. I handle corporate and internal communications for GM Middle East and Africa.
That's amazing. Thank you so much. Osama?
Thank you, Nariman, for hosting us today. My name is Osama. I'm Jordanian, and I have been living in United Arab Emirates for my entire life, around 29 years. I'm a retail marketing manager handling our dealers network marketing campaigns across the region. I'm passionate about future technology. I'm really into tech in general, into EVs. I'm a gamer. I'm into adventure. I'm a scuba diver as well. I have different passion points that I'm really interested in, but I think that's always, captured my interest. Always been technology. I'm into smart homes, into anything that can make our life easier, in a sense. And that's me in a nutshell.
That's great. I've always wanted to try scuba diving. This is making me want to try it now. No, that's so exciting to learn more about each of you and to hear about what makes you excited about this work from your own personal perspective. So I'm just really appreciative of you sharing that. I'd love to, really hear more about what you're seeing kind of on the ground in the UAE, or maybe what you've seen on the ground, in Jordan or in Egypt, to really push for that all-electric future. Like what progress is being made right now?
I'll start off with Egypt just because it was the most recent announcement done. We had Lu'ay al-Sharafa, our president, meet with President al-Sisi and to talk about this along with our dealer partners and our GM Egypt dealer partner Mansour, GM Egypt, where they discussed how are they going to bring EVs into Egypt and localize manufacturing EV assemblies in our plants in Egypt as well, which is really exciting for me as an Egyptian. That we're moving forward. Everyone knows about it's the most populated city. It's the pollution and all of that. And I'm glad to see that we're moving forward and in time for COP 2027 as well, towards the end of the year, taking place in Sharm el-Sheikh.
Yeah, that's incredible. It's really, really exciting to see that, this is kind of that pivotal moment where, we see these shifts happening. And so it's really, like I said, just exciting to see that passion and transition starting there.
I think I would like to add to what Diana mentioned. I think, the region have been growing in this area a lot. Jordan, given the prices of fuel, and the average wage of locals, over there, they've always been exploring different ways to reduce the cost of traveling in a sense. So EVs and hybrid cars have been early adopted in Jordan. From, I would say, governmental initiatives, I want to shed the light more in UAE because I think it's more mature in this space. Since the introduction, of EV in 2017, the country in general, in Dubai specifically, demonstrated commitment and support to EV infrastructure and EV owners. And that was evident, by providing, I would say, new owners with free car registrations, free toll tags, and free charging. I think up until the beginning of this year, charging EVs was completely free. And that sort of incentivized people to buy in, and start thinking of EV more. I also believe Expo 2020 made it clear that UAE is aiming for a sustainable future and quickly adapting and expanding an all-electric infrastructure.
A lot of really exciting things happening. And, again, it has to be kind of that top-down approach, right? And so, having government initiatives to help with that adoption is really great to hear.
Yeah, just to add to what Diana as Osama had said already, in Cruise Origin, a company that GM is heavily invested in as well, we work with them and or our leadership team members work with them, and we're going to bring in autonomous vehicles into our region as well. I think it's the first region outside of US that will have the Cruise Origin autonomous vehicles running on the road. There will be, I think, before end of the decade, we're targeting for 4,000 units as a collaboration with the Road Transport Authority in Dubai. And along with that, Saudi has recently also announced that in their capital city, Riyadh, by 2030, 30% of the vehicles in Riyadh would be EVs. And our aspirations or our goals in the region to launch 13 EVs by 2025 just aligns with a lot of these visions of the countries in the region at the moment, even though now we're in the beginning stages, but I think our vision of the future is aligned.
That's really incredible to hear. You hear a lot of these kind of ambitious goals happening, but to see them starting to, play out before our eyes is really exciting to witness. So I'd love to ask, do you want to dive in just a little bit more into how you think your region's culture and perspective really plays an important role in how, people are approaching the move to, a more sustainable, the all-electric future?
I'll start with that. Just to highlight one thing that that Osama and Yan have already also touched on, UAE in particular is leading in this space, and you can see it in across all organizations. So not just with car companies, it's in fashion, in all kinds of fields and disciplines. And I think that's what's made it easier as well to start adopting this way of life and being more environmentally conscious, being supportive to other even nations that are neighboring nations. It drives in you that kind of commitment that you want to do something to make a difference. And we just recently, just a couple of days ago, announced that we will be installing solar panels in our Middle East distribution center, which is our largest and our highest generating energy unit in the Middle East. And by 2024, we'll have reduced our carbon footprint by 95%.
It's really incredible. It's just, I mean, I'm so excited when I hear all of these initiatives happening. You know, these are, again, the moments that are, you know, changing our future.
I think Dubai has always been, you know, advocate of for climate change in multiple ways. And I think there is a good example we can bring here is, you know, whenever we go to renew our vehicles, the vehicle is tested for its carbon footprint, and they give you an estimation of how much, you know, how much you consumed in a sense, and how much did you generate, you know, what was your impact or your footprint throughout the year, to give you an indication to your impact to the environment. And that's not only on, you know, on vehicles, it's also on the electricity bill that we're getting on a monthly basis. So they're trying to bring that awareness to people, to I think to make more sustainable environment in a sense, and create that kind of awareness which make people more cautious when they or I would say not cautious, they would become more aware of what is the impact that they're creating day by day.
After all, I think the Middle East region, we're still, of course, very much dependent on oil economy. So I really applaud the government for, you know, despite being oil economy dependent, still wants to drive towards sustainability, because there is some, you know, kind of conflict of interest in that space. So I think there is a huge progress from the government's mindset point of view and their initiatives, but we are still in the beginning stages. There is still a lot to do in terms of EV awareness and adoption, changing people's mindset towards you know, future mobility and cleaner mobility in the future. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a really important point, you know, because it really does take everybody in to make this transition happen, and to be able to, you know, kind of arm yourself with the knowledge of what your footprint looks like, and, you know, what your actual impact comes down to is what helps to kind of, you know, get that buy-in. So those are just really great points. I have one last question for you, and I think that this already kind of, your previous answers already kind of get into it, but I'd love to hear more about, you know, how has seeing this move to a more sustainable all-electric future in your area inspired you as an individual, or your friends, or your family? How are you seeing this, you know, touch your own personal life?
Can I go?
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah, I've been an EV driver for almost 5 years. You know, in a region where when you buy an EV, it was literally, it took a lot of courage, and honestly, driving an EV changed my life. You know, it inspired me to become a better planner and more disciplined, you know, driver. In the past, I never used to think where to park. You know, when I start, you know, driving EV, I started to calculate everything. You know, what is my driving style? How much energy I'm consuming? You know, in the past, I used to literally press the throttle and خلاص, you just just move on. But now, no, I'm really cautious on my driving habits because I wanna. It's like you're trying to maintain a score. Okay, this is my score. This is how much I'm consuming, and all of that. It's literally it start to make me a different person. And it literally impacts the quality of my life as well. In what sense? I used to live in Sharjah. Sharjah is literally 20 minutes away from Dubai. Uh, but driving wise, it's 1 hour and 30 minutes because of the traffic. There's a lot of traffic, and that applied a lot of stress on me, while on the road. And I still remember when I got my Bolt EV, I used to drive using the one pedal driving, so I didn't have to press the fuel and then press the brake. And it did sort of reduce the stress on me. So the impact, honestly, that I saw on the quality of my life was enormous. It did make me a better planner. It made me more zen, in a sense. And I think it's something everyone needs to try.
And that's the hope. That's the hope, right? That we all not only try it, but adopt that same lifestyle. And I love hearing firsthand what that experience has been like for you.
I like how you said, Osama, that it's like you're scoring. It's like you're a typical gamer. We saw that gaming side in you. From my perspective, honestly, I feel like I mentioned in the beginning, like the inclusivity part of it is, it's like it's not just you're being inclusive of people around you and bringing everybody in. And I haven't still purchased an EV, but Osama, I can tell you that you've really got me thinking. Someone that's also commuting from Sharjah to Dubai. I commute from Abu Dhabi to Dubai. So, but after learning about EVs, I don't have that anxiety of range, but I do think, okay, did I switch off my lights? What's the air condition on? Is it on 24 degrees? Is it on this? I do think about that more often. And less plastic is something that I'm really trying to also reduce personally in my own home. So yeah, our behaviors at work really do impact our lives at home and make us look for a brighter future for our children.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing that, Diana. It's not an easy process to go through, right? There are a lot of things that you have to consider, but I think everything we've talked about today is making that transition a reality and making it an easier process for people from all different communities. So really interesting to hear your own personal perspective. Thank you.
As for myself, I'm a working mom, so I'm constantly under guilt that I'm not spending enough time with my children. Especially my work is quite intense. Even after work, the brain is always clicking on the future and planning, strategizing, etc. So I try to articulate to my children whenever they ask me, "Mommy, why do you work so hard?" So I try to articulate to them that Mommy is trying to work towards a cleaner future for you. I need to work hard and sometimes may not be able to spend as much time with them. And one day I asked my children, would you like Mommy working or maybe Mommy not working and spend more time with you? And they told me, Mommy, we like you to work because we want you to bring in electric vehicles.
That's so cute. Oh my gosh, I love it. And being able to really provide that, information and that education when, they're at a younger age, it really does help set them up for that to be their lifestyle and to really understand the importance of that. So that's just really fantastic. And how cute.
Yes, absolutely. I think education and awareness, of course, starting from children is great, but I think it's very much needed all around. And that will help us drive towards faster EV adoption.
Absolutely, absolutely. And for you, it provides, a special inspiration, right? That's as close to home as it gets for you.
I hope. Yeah, I hope.
Well, thank you all so much for joining us today. I'll just provide quick little thoughts from my end. I actually didn't do an introduction earlier, so happy to share a little bit more about me. My name's Nermeen Fahmy. I'm based in Detroit, but I'm actually Egyptian. So this region obviously means so much to me. A lot of my extended family is back home, and again, just really seeing the need for this transition to happen is really so important to me, and it's something that keeps me inspired every day. But I know that transition can't happen there or anywhere else if we're not working together. And so that's why it's just, really exciting to hear about all of the great, important work being done in the region, because that's, the first step to making sure that the whole world can implement similar initiatives and programs and policies to make this a reality for everyone. So I just really, again, want to thank all of our GM employees here today for joining us and providing this invaluable input and perspective. And with that, I'll say ma salama. Thank you.
Ma salama. Thank you.